India's economy moves on an expansive physical engine, a 28 lakh crore logistics sector. To understand how a package travels from warehouse to door, we have to look at how this complex system was built. Before 2017, companies managed fragmented state-by-state go-downs to navigate local taxes. When the government rolled out the GST, those tax borders vanished. Companies immediately consolidated their operations into regional sorting hubs. Right as the supply chain streamlined, cheap internet reached millions of new users. This triggered a sudden surge in nationwide e-commerce orders. Logistics startups raced to capture volume. They leased fleets, built out delivery networks, burning cash for market share as fast as possible. But delivering low-value boxes has a financial limit. E-commerce parcel growth is starting to normalize, and companies are finding that scaling up these shipments doesn't automatically generate a return. The era of acquiring volume at a loss is over. Every major player in the sector is now restructuring their business model around a single mandatory metric: profitability. To reach that goal, companies first analyze their revenue mix. Not all cargo is worth the same, and the type of box a truck carries dictates the math of the entire trip. This chart breaks down B2C express delivery, the standard e-commerce box. While the volume bar is significant, look at this red segment here. Every fourth order gets returned. That 25% return rate effectively destroys the profit margin for the logistics provider. Contrast that with air express. Setting up dedicated air cargo networks requires immense upfront capital for planes and airport slots. Because the barrier to entry is high and product returns are practically zero, companies can charge a premium, generating margins of around 16%. Instead of shipping single boxes for individuals, PTL handles heavier shipments for B2B clients. These businesses pay better rates and rarely return the cargo. PTL utilizes the exact same physical infrastructure as consumer parcels. A logistics company loads these heavy commercial payloads onto the same trucks and routes them through the same hubs, extracting more profit from the same trip. Survival requires balancing the cargo. A successful operation loads up on high-margin B2B freight to subsidize the high-volume, low-margin e-commerce boxes sitting in the same vehicle. Profitability is also a function of network density. This is the science of maximizing the physical utilization of the infrastructure a company already owns. Take a look at this graph. This flat horizontal line represents fixed costs, the inescapable expenses of leasing warehouses and maintaining fleets. Whether that network is running at 60% capacity or 90% capacity, that cost stays the same. The rising line is revenue. Once parcel volume pushes the revenue line past that fixed cost threshold, operating leverage kicks in. Without adding new buildings or trucks, every extra parcel loaded onto that network becomes nearly pure profit. To stretch those margins further, companies are deploying technology to drive down the variable, day-to-day costs of physically handling those boxes. We can see the impact of this transition in this bar chart. Paying human workers to manually sort a parcel costs roughly 18 to 20 rupees. Running that same parcel through an automated sorting system drops the cost to just 6 to 8 rupees. A modern logistics firm operates like a physical algorithm. The goal is to keep fixed cost networks saturated while automating the manual handling inside the warehouses. But optimizing a network assumes the clients remain. Major e-commerce giants are starting to build their own internal delivery fleets, pulling volume out of third-party logistics networks. Meesho, for example, launched an in-house logistics arm called Valmo. Within a year, Valmo was handling 67% of Meesho's shipments, up from just 30%. Success now depends on having a network that is both dense enough to be profitable and flexible enough to outpace the competition.